when I saw this little hard drive, I just had to test it. It looks really cool and it's tiny. I'm going to test it for a Mac, but it works on Windows too. It's basically called the Orico 250 gigabyte SSD drive, external drive. Let's get into it. All right, welcome back to the channel. So as you know, I do some testing of different products, and when I saw this one, I had to give it a little shot and just try it out. So here's the box over here. It's called, I don't know if it's Orico or Orico, but you can check it. I'm gonna have a link into Amazon in my description. You can definitely check these out. They're about 48 bucks. This is 250 gigabyte. They make one in 500 and they make one in a terabyte as well. And it comes in this crazy color scheme. And when I saw this, I'm like, you know, it says 3-year limited warranty, but here's the color scheme. You can see it. I'll have close-ups of this as I'm talking. And the cool part about this is, you know, obviously take a look at the box. On the back of the box, it does come in like a purple, a green, a pink, and then the color that I have is this white, red, and blue. So maybe for Memorial Day or whatever, this is a good one to get, right? So it says it's good for 4K video editing and stuff. Now in the box, what it came with is an instruction manual right here, and then it comes with both a USB-C to USB-C and a USB-C to USB-A, which is really nice. So it comes with 2 different cables. And it does say that it is up to 540 megabytes per second. We'll test that. USB 3.1 Gen 2, so 10 gigabits per second, at least the interface on the USB-C to USB-C. Make sure you use that cord if you can. Obviously, if your computer doesn't have that, then you can't use that. So just wanted to pick it up because it is such a cool little thing. And I'll have close-ups of it. I think it's about a ½ inch as far as the thickness. 1.5 inches wide and 2.5 inches long, so tiny. You know, you can literally cover it up in the palm of your hand here. And it has this, it looks like almost like a block of Legos or something, some kind of crazy scheme here. I'll show you. It's got the USB-C plug on it and a little light, and that's about it. Other than that, it's a very kind of clean, just little block that you can have as far as your storage, right? Just kind of a cool thing sitting there. So a couple things to note on this, and I'm going to go ahead. I already actually did this, but when I first plugged it in, I'm going to plug it in right now actually. When I first plugged it in, it did say that it was already formatted for Windows. So if you're a Windows user, that's fine. I'm a Mac user, so what I needed to do was reformat it. The name on it was CN300. That's what it was named at first. Now, what I'm going to do here really quickly is I'm going to go ahead and, let me go ahead and share my screen here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a screen recording just so I can show everyone what I'm doing. So I'm going to start recording here. Now, when it first came up again, it said CN300 or whatever what is the model? Yeah, CN300. And then it just kind of like obviously was for Windows, but it still came up and it still was there. So I'm like, this isn't going to work. NTSF. It's not going to work on a Mac. So what I did is, look at my computer here. I went in down to Launchpad right there, and then the other folder, you can see it there. And then look for Disk Utility, so you click on that. Now, down on this left-hand side, be very careful because you'll erase your main drive otherwise. But look for the external drives, and it should be called CN300 down there. Now, mine's called Orico or Orico 250 because I renamed it. I already did this, but yours would be named CN 300. You click on it, and it would say CN300, but it would say NTSF, Windows formatted, and that's not good. So once you click on this, make sure here again, you're on this drive, not your main drive. You go over here to erase, and you click on erase. Now, I renamed it Orico 250 gigabytes so I could recognize it, and then I made mine exFAT, all right? So exFAT works with both Macs and PCs, so it's interchangeable. So that's what I made it as far as formatting it. You would click exFAT and then click erase, and it would erase it, and it would make it exFAT, and it would be done, and it would show up for the Mac. Some people might want to make this OS Mac journaled. If you're only going to use it on a Mac and not a PC, you can do Mac OS journaled right there, or extended journaled, and that'll work as well. So those are the 2 choices. For some reason, it's not showing APFS. I'm not sure why, but you would click OK there. It would reformat it for you, and then it shows up just like mine right here. And you can see it over here, the Orico 250. And now what I want to do is a couple things. So if I go down here, I want to just do a quick speed test. So if you look at my computer, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this little gear here, select target drive, and I'm going to go over here to where it says Orico on the left-hand side. There it is. I'm going to click on that to make sure I'm testing that drive. I'm going to click open. So now I'm actually in that drive for the test, and I'm going to click on it. So what I've been seeing on this with exFAT is about not 360 writes, 358, 359. It goes up and down, but I was seeing 360 earlier. Now it's 349, but that's the write speed. And then I'm getting closer to 400s on the read, which is really nice for a small, tiny little drive like this. 399, 400, somewhere in that range, as you can see. So that's basically what I'm getting on the speed test. Now, again, go ahead and look at my screen really quickly. All right, so I created 3 different files here, and they're about, together, all 3 of them are about 1.2 gigabytes. So about 1.2 gigabytes, 400 megabytes each, somewhere in that range. So that's not that big of a file. But if I go ahead and take all 3 of these, I copy it over to the Orico drive, you can see basically it takes, you can see the time it takes here. It takes maybe about 1.5 seconds to copy over. So I tested it up to about 10 gigabytes, about 10 gigabytes of files moving, and it moves pretty quickly. So it doesn't get hot. I haven't done extensive testing like 50 to 100 gigabytes or, terabyte of transfer, something like that. But on the small ones, I mean, up to 10 or 20, it doesn't get hot at all. Transfers at the same speed. It's very efficient. So nothing's slowing down in that little range. And that's typically what I do. 10 to 20 gigabyte files is about as big as I transfer at once because they're my movie files. And so you can see how fast this is. Again, this is something that is kind of a novelty. It's a little bit maybe priced too high, 48 bucks. Maybe it should be 38 bucks. But it looks cool. It's tiny and it's going to get people talking. On top of it, it's pretty fast, 400 writes, like I said, or reads, 400 reads, about 360 writes. Not bad for a small drive. The size of it's incredible. And then like the colors and everything else. You can see it next to, like pennies and stuff like that, how small this thing is. It's just a really tiny setup. And so that's all I'm here for, is I'd like to test these different products. I'll have a link in the description if you want to pick one up. Helps the channel, but you can buy them any way you want. Just to let you know that they're out here. They work on a Mac. If you want to go ahead and use them, you just have to reformat them that way. And, overall, I've only had it a couple weeks, so I can't say it's actually worked. Longevity, I don't know about. I don't know too much about this brand. It does have good reviews on Amazon, though, overall. You're always going to get some bad ones with an SSD drive, so don't put all your important stuff as this the only drive until you do your own testing. But I haven't had it long enough to see if this is going to last a year or two from now. But it is, like I said, the Orico CN300 250 gigabyte drive. On the front, it just says 3D NAND flash memory, high-speed transmission, and professional chip, whatever that means. Again, it supports the 10 gigabits per second. Comes in different colors, and just have some fun with it. So hope you guys like these videos, and if you can support the channel and subscribe, it's going to help me make more of them, just to show you some of these crazy products. A lot of these other YouTubers don't do these products because they can't make any money. They don't get sponsored. I just buy stuff with my own money, try it out, and just try to find the weird things kind of off the beaten path, or the cheaper things people can actually afford, not $3,000 computers and stuff. So support me if you can. Subscribe, maybe buy one if you want to try one out. You could always return it. So far, so good, and we'll talk to you guys in maybe a couple days. Like I always end my videos, peace.